Hello, hi, my name is Bash Harry, and welcome to The Harry Knit. This is the place where I do knitting, crafting, all that good stuff. And I want to just knit and chat and have Milo, because it's kind of cold today, as cold as Southeast Asian weather can get, which is why I'm wearing my jumper. It is Petite Knits balloon sweater and I absolutely adore it. I thought today would be a good time for me to just kind of work on a project and kind of talk to you about what my plans are for 2022 for this YouTube channel and for my own personal knitting, because I got back into it very recent. I wouldn't say recently, like I've always been a knitter, but it's only now that I really started taking it more seriously as a hobby and one that helps me relax. So I thought it would be a good way for me to kind of talk about my plans and the future, especially since 2022 is around the corner, while I make, or at least try to finish the yoke on this. I didn't talk about this on last week's podcast, like last 2 weeks' podcast, because I literally just started on it like a few days ago. This is supposed to be a sweater. I don't know if I can talk about it. And I'm still about done with the yoke. I don't know if you can see. Yes, that's how it looks like. Zoom in. It doesn't want to zoom in. But this is what it's gonna be. It's a yoke. And it's gonna be this really nice long sleeve kind of big sweater, which I thought, oh, perfect. Because I really like big sweaters, or like those are just like just about fitted for me. The yarn that I'm using is like Wendy's Peter Pan DK, and as you can see, it is a tangly mess. If I just put it in this bag, then you wouldn't notice. So I think the plan is I'm just gonna be knitting and talking about my knitting goals for 2022, because it is right around the corner, as I said. Hoping I can do enough. This will be probably like the third video that I make on this YouTube channel, and I was thinking about either doing it on my channel, like the main Bash Harry channel, or making one that was only for knitting, knowing that I was still probably going to do a lot of the work, you know, on my main channel. But the reason why I wanted to separate, sorry you can hear the rain, but the reason why I wanted to separate was because, you know, to an extent, the Bash Harry channel, like my main channel, is a little bit more like lifestyle and fashion and that kind of content, whereas this one, I wanted it to be just focused on my knitting. I wanted it to focus on things that I enjoyed, and I didn't really want to give myself too much limitations on what I wanted to do. And I thought the best way to do it was just to separate the kind of video that I was making, because people who follow that channel only want to see me doing life and fashion and stuff. They might not necessarily want to see, you know, what I'm knitting or the podcast. So that's why I made this channel. So I'm gonna just talk a little briefly on like what I want this channel to go through next year. That sounds really scary, but no, I promise it's not. I guess for me, like I do want to keep a consistent schedule just because I like consistency in my life, but I also don't want to overwhelm myself while working on 2 channels and then a full-time job and then DJing, and if I have a show then doing that. I don't want to get more overwhelmed by it, so I'm gonna try to keep my workload very light for both channels. So I'm guessing like for the Harry Knit, it might be just like 1 or 2 videos a month if I can, and I want to focus more on, of course, personal knits like what I'm doing right now, like personal talking videos, as well as some educational videos like how-tos and DIYs, because I remember when I was starting out as a knitter like 10 years ago, there wasn't really a lot of content about how to become a knitter. Like, what is that, a monkey? But yeah, when I was 14, 13, when I was first starting out, there wasn't a lot of content when it came to how to knit, except for like Very Pink Knits, who I'm gonna say her videos helped me so much. So I do want to do those educational videos. I also get really inspired by Well Loved Knits, Friday Knits, and Tiffany Lou. I think her videos are great. So for me, one of my goals for next year, I guess, is to have a little bit of a consistent YouTube schedule for both this channel and my other channel. And hopefully I'm going to be doing that very soon. But when you have to add on a full-time job and multiple like active streams of income, I gotta be careful when talking about that, because I know I keep saying this, it's like a habit of mine being like, I make lots of videos in one go and then I just stop posting for 3 months. It's a bad habit of mine, so I want to find some consistency and a routine when I make stuff, especially since now I have the tools and I have the income to do so, especially since I didn't have that back then. Another personal goal of mine is to knit 22 pieces for 2022. Like, I saw Arrow Knits and Pearls, she wants to do she did 21 sweaters for 2021. I don't think I could make 21 sweaters. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's for me. I don't live in a cold climate, so it's not really necessary for me to have too many sweaters. Whatever those pieces are, I don't know, but that's something I want to look forward to. I'm pretty keen on doing t-shirts and tops, like what I did recently with the Jessie May's Hello for My Crops top, Hello for My Colors crop, which I really love. It was one of my favorite pieces I think I've ever made. And I'll probably make a video about everything I made in 2021. And that's probably one of my favorites, and I'd like to explore that a bit more. Another thing that I would like to do is probably to learn how to design my own patterns. I tend to just find what I can find on Ravelry, and I follow those instructions and the knits always turn out really well. But every single time I've tried to develop my own pattern, I've only done it twice. One for my friend's birthday bralette, the other one was for a cardigan that didn't end up looking right. So I want to learn how to design my own patterns and try to make it look kind of decent. I think I want to try making a vest, and I want to try making my own sweater. So I think that's another goal of mine, because I want to start learning how to explore and be a bit more like an intermediate, I guess, when it comes to my knitting. So I don't need to rely on anyone else's pattern but my own, because I know the basics, I know how to follow instructions, I know that kind of stuff, but I really want to try to see if I can do my own and kind of be more of a advanced knitter. Oh yeah, I would really love to hand dye my own yarn. I think hand dyeing, I've been watching a lot of videos about hand dyeing your own yarn, like from Well Love Knits and The Love Stitch. I saw them dye their own wool. I don't usually work with wool. I usually focus on nylons, cotton, viscose, because I do live in Brunei, but I would love to try my hand at dyeing my own yarn, because I really love variegated hand-dyed pieces, but it is really hard to find over here. So I want to do that in 2022, which would be really cool. I might, if I could, I would sell them, but I probably wouldn't, I'll be honest. But just because I absolutely love the way that they look, I love the way that people have made it. There's so many variegations, it's so varied as a look, and I would love to continue that. I think it's really hard as a knitter in Brunei, because admittedly not a lot of people do knit. Most people crochet here, and I can understand why. It is what I would consider easier to pick up, and it's way more faster, I guess, but I've always been interested in knitting. It's my first love. So for me personally, it's something that I would always stick to, but it's different for everybody. That being said, another goal that I have would be to have a knitting workshop for beginners. And it goes back to my point of I know how hard it was to learn how to knit, especially when I was starting out. So I want to do that. I want to, teach a class on knitting. It doesn't have to be extensive, but I would love to do a knitting workshop here in Brunei and show people the skills and tools that they might need. A part of me also wants to start a knitting community in Brunei, or a knit and crochet community, but I don't know whether that's feasible. Let me know if you're from Brunei and would like to start a knitting community here, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun to meet once a month and talk about the pieces that you want to make or you're planning on making, and just have a good time, especially with the cafes opening up here in Brunei. I think that would be really cool. And I guess going back into it, I would also think those are the main, I think those are the main goals that I have. They're very loose and they're quite, I wouldn't say they're abstract, but like I don't want to give myself too many goals where I end up maybe not even doing them. Because like I said, I've only started knitting again maybe during the second wave, just because for me it was a good way to relieve anxiety over the whole thing and try to feel like everything's back to normal, which everything slowly is, which is a good thing. I just want to take it easy, especially with this channel. Do let me know though what other videos you would want to see, because like I said, this channel is very new, and like I'm so open to seeing what other videos you'd like to see, what other things you'd like to watch. Maybe it's educational, maybe a bit more personal, I don't know. Honestly, I just want a lot of more ideas, please. Thank you. Okay, that is as far as I've gotten. I'm hoping to finish the yoke by today so I can start on the body, but that is as far as I've gotten. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm gonna end this video now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as I said, please let me know what videos you want to see next. Maybe what are your goals for 2022? That would be really fun. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Bash Harry. This is The Harry Knit. You can follow me over there if you want, and I will see you later. Okay, bye.